This is IGN. A strong open-world Gotham and trademark slapstick humor powers a fantastic parody of the Caped Crusader's greatest hits. This is your IGN review of Lego Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight by Simon Cardy. Parody, when done correctly, can be one of the sharpest, funniest ways to show your love for something. That task comes a little bit easier and all the more richer when the target in your sights is a man who dresses up as a bat and demands to be taken seriously all too often. LEGO series developer TT Games is no stranger to this world, having jumped into Gotham on more than one occasion in the past and delivered consistently fun pastiches of some of pop culture's most beloved characters for 2 decades now. In LEGO Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight, it's back at the top of its game, built lovingly brick by brick with fun always foremost in mind, especially in an open world that eclipses its linear levels. A top-tier LEGO game with playful twists on Rocksteady's Arkham series that hit the mark more often than not. It's a strong send-up of the Caped Crusader, delivered with a kiss from a rose. Legacy of the Dark Knight embraces its LEGO building blocks more than any other game in the series to date. By that, I mean its overall structure is somewhat like if several Batman kits were thrown onto the floor and jumbled up, only to be reshaped into original creations of their own. TT Games has taken storylines from each of Bruce Wayne's big screen outings and crafted its own tale from those beloved scenes, just performed in plastic. For example, its first chapter slams together moments from Jack Nicholson's Joker rebirth and Tim Burton's 1989 Batman movie with the Falcone-centered iceberg lounge infiltration of Matt Reeves' The Batman, and does so effortlessly with comedic charm. Through a series of roughly 20 linear missions, you'll fight, puzzle, and platform your way around Gotham locations in a way that'll feel familiar if you've played any LEGO games in the past. Where things are different, though, is in its combat, which takes a leaf out of Rocksteady's Batman Arkham series by introducing its counter and dodge-based melee system, albeit soundtracked with a comic book-esque chud, thud, and crack. It feels slick to wield as you take on hordes of criminals and rack up combos reaching into the hundreds, pressing the parry button whenever a flashing prompt appears over one of their heads. It's a step up from the traditional LEGO formula of just pressing the attack button until foes explode into their component parts, with a reasonable amount of enemy variety keeping fights relatively fresh, even if I was left desiring a little more in terms of interesting encounter design. Puzzles, not combat, are where they show off those unique skills more than anywhere, though. Each level is a great mix of problem-solving and fighting, and although it never becomes truly brain-teasing, it does make you pause for thought every now and then. Knowing when to switch between the two characters you're locked into playing as during a mission is half the battle, as you work out if a pipe gushing chemicals can be stuffed up with sealant from Gordon's handy foam cannon, or a small vent can be crawled through by one of Selena Kyle's cat companions. Of course, like pretty much every LEGO game, it's all playable in 2-player local co-op. The lack of online is a frustration, with some puzzles requiring coordination and timing to complete. Many bits of tech also come packed with their own enjoyable minigames, such as Batgirl's hacking batarangs, which trigger a short puzzle section where you need to avoid enemies in a maze made up of concentric circles. These minigames don't really develop in complexity over time, but there's a decent amount of different types, so you're never doing too many of the same in a row. There's charm overload at every turn, with cutscenes that are often hilarious, as silliness is always prioritized through slapstick physical humor and goofy dialogue. "We may not have health insurance, but boy does this make up for it," could be heard from one enemy as I pummeled him and his friends a fresh shade of purple to add a new color to the funhouse ball pit we were brawling in. There's a clear love for all things Batman here, with the DC hero and the culture around him always the target of affectionate mockery. That could be riffs on popular memes, such as Michael Caine's infamous Batman Begin Twitter post, or the fact that you may just be wandering around the Batcave minding your own business when the bat phone rings. Who's on the other end of the line? Well, that would be Bane, gloriously voiced by What We Do in the Shadows as Matt Berry, who loves nothing more than to crank call you with some wonderfully childish messages. LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight is a lovingly made, often hilarious take on both Batman's movie and video game history alike. It remixes classic moments from almost every film, with deeper cuts from the Caped Crusader's comic book beginnings too. A largely successful attempt at sophisticating LEGO combat that suffers a bit from repetitive, one-note encounter design, combined with a good mixture of puzzles, powers its homage-laden levels. But its open-world Gotham is where it truly comes to life, generously packing its gothic surroundings with hundreds of collectibles and pockets of opportunity. It might not tell a story that'll sit alongside Batman's best overall, but it delivers a fantastic plastic parody of his greatest hits. LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight's IGN score? 8 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest updates on LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.